It's day 11 of the 30-day noob improvement journey, and in today's video we're talking about game sense and decision making. So as you know, the noob improvement journey is for those of us who don't have much time to play Fortnite but still want to try and get better and make the most of the time that we have available. So this journey is exactly for those of us in that situation. Now, I was looking back over some games and wondered about how my decision making was influencing the result of the game, and in this game we're at the end of the game and we're down to final 2, and we're going to talk about the decisions that led to this point and also this final standoff between me and the other player, and the decisions whether they were right or wrong to take at the time. So yeah, this is the end, but we're going to go back to the beginning and come back to see whether the decisions I made at the end were paid off or not. So let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so decision making and game sense. So these are the areas that I consider that are non-mechanical aspects of the game. So not your aiming or your building or your shooting or anything like that. It's more the being aware of surroundings, aware of players and where they may be and where they may be going, and anticipating their moves and all that sort of thing. So I think generally I've been okay with this area, but I looked over the last few games to see whether I could improve, and this game stood out as one that had a variety of different decisions, some of them good, some of them bad, and I thought I'd go through them with you, just and again encourage you to do the same thing with some of your games. Go back and look over what you did well and what you could improve on. So in this sense, I was up on the roof there for some time when waiting to drop down. Now, still probably wasn't the ideal time to drop down because there was somebody on my left when I moved in, or when I dropped down there. So it worked out all right in the end, and you saw that I got the kill to start with before I engaged with these 3 as well. So in total got 4 kills straight off the bat on here. Now the reason I'm throwing the grenades there was because actually this video was going to be practicing different grenade kills and explosive kills, just to get some clips together to practice and maybe use in a future video. So that's why I'm keen to be trying to get some kills with the grenades. But decision making generally on here has been okay, but I got to the point where I'd taken a few hits and decided to disengage completely, and I think that's one of the main things to try to remember, is knowing when to take a fight and when to disengage. Now I obviously did disengage there, people moved away, but this guy there decided to try and break down that wall. So easy kill, and maybe sometimes it doesn't hurt to disengage and not take a fight and reset the fight and start again. So I think too many people, and me in particular, if there's an opportunity to a fight, generally used to take it, and that used to be my downfall. So I think we all need to consider, is this a fight that we can win or should win, and are the odds stacked in our favour? So decision making is unique to our own skill sets as well. So if you know you're particularly good at closer range, you might try to take on fights that are more closer range. I know that I'm preferring the sniper and further away a lot of the time because my aiming is still not that great. So quite often I'll try and get into a position where I can snipe or shoot from further away compared to missing lots of shots. So decision making here, we got a player on our right, but I decided to go more to the left and then come up behind them. So we got the right hand peak advantage here, and that made sense rather than going straight ahead, straight to them. So things like that I think make a difference and are well worth trying to bear in mind. Now where this player went to, I have no idea. So time to move on to the game and try and keep ahead of the storm. So, like I said, staying ahead of the storm is a very good idea, and so when we're making decisions, always keeping an eye on the storm and where that is. Now, I used to get caught out a lot and spend far too long in the storm and then be weak and then die. It's no good to anyone, so now I tend to stay further ahead. to make sure we don't get caught in it, and that's paid off quite well because it meant that medkits and bandages are saved for when we need them in later games. So I do try and always keep ahead of the storm, or if I do get in the storm, it's only for minimal damage. So that's something I'm making a decision on from the start of each game, is to monitor the storm and stay ahead of it as best I can. At this point of the game, we can see that there has been some fighting ahead, so I'm jumping out of that boat. Now I can see some building on the left up here, and so I decided to just get the loot. Now the snowstorm's about to start, also the storm is about to move in, so I decided to put some walls up and get the loot and get out and get into the safe circle. Now I put up a couple of walls there just in case they were trying to line up a snipe and try and keep on jumping and moving, and again making the right decision. I could have taken on that enemy player there, but I would have ended up taking up time and getting involved in a fight, which would have meant I was possibly getting stuck in a storm. Now this guy's got height advantage, considering taking him on and going up the hill. Again, the storm's coming, or the snowstorm's coming, and also the storm is going to be closing in on us soon, so decided to disengage. Now those walls that I put up meant that the player up there still thought I was behind the walls, and you'll hear them shooting a couple of times at the walls until they realise that I'm not there. So that was a wise decision. My health wasn't great, and so again it's looking at the advantages. Are you going to win the fight, or are you likely to be game over if you engage? So thinking about that all the way whenever there's the likelihood of getting into a fight, and I think this one proved out as the right decision for me there. Okay, so health has now been improved, and so bit in a better position to move on. Now I could have stayed in that building a bit longer, but I don't think we're going to learn anything by just camping, so decided to make a move and run in towards the centre of the circle a little bit. Spotted a llama, and so this, obviously it could have been setting me up for a kill. Somebody could have been looking at that, waiting for somebody to come and grab it, but I built around to try and make sure that I had some cover, and it looks like a good result because I got up to full health. Okay, so decision making, getting into the safe circle in advance as best we can, and trying to get into a safe place and an advantage place. So we're trying to get some height, obviously trying to get into a position where we've got advantage over players. Now I heard that fighting going on, couldn't locate where they were, but there they are. So thought we'd give a bit of a chase, as I'm full health, thought I'd give that a go, and it's ended up being relatively worthwhile. Lost track whether that was the player that ran out the building or the one that's just to our right underneath the pathway there. So we fire a rocket to get a certain amount of health off of them, and then fire a second rocket, which was badly aimed, so probably should have just got AR out then, but again, because I had it in my mind that I was trying to practice with explosive, I was trying to use the explosives more than anything else, and wasn't really thinking about the win too much. I was more because the idea of the game was to get explosive kills and practice using explosives. So yeah, that kind of explains why I was using explosives a little bit more than possibly most people would. Okay, so we got two bits coming up here, which one of them's a good decision, the other one is a poor decision, and it's about awareness and that. So in a second someone is going to jump out of the garbage bin down there, and I predicted where they're going to run, whacked a rocket down there, took some damage off them, jobs are good, but you'll see a snipe comes in just as I'm coming back. Okay, now luckily I moved, but I didn't even think about where did that come from. Should have whacked a wall straight up there because clearly they're up in that tower, but kept on peeking up. So poor decision there. Another snipe comes in. Do I make a decision? Yeah, now I start thinking put a wall there, but why didn't I fire back and try and get didn't knock them down or put some pressure on them. Instead I just sat there, considered coming out the back, but should have just fired some rockets up there, put some pressure, make them lose some height, give me the advantage over them. But for whatever reason decided to retreat. I don't think they noticed where I went, so I was probably thinking about trying to sneak up from a different angle, but didn't actually achieve it. So being precise, being decisive, actually making it happen rather than sneaking around here, I would have been better off building up quickly, because I think they're still firing at where I was, and so decision making poor on that sense. I should have put pressure on instead of retreating, and now I'm kind of stuck between where the storm is and this wall, and so we'll let this play out, but you'll see a little bit more of the decisions that I made. And built okay, got rocketed a few times, but overall decisions were bad, and particularly at the end point we get down to the final two, and I send a rocket down, get the player down to lower health, and then stupid decision gave up the height, and ended up putting myself in a really bad position. Tried to set a trap, didn't realise that it wasn't my wall, and so the opponent got an easy kill and finished me off, and I got a second instead of what should have been a clear first. So I let that play out, but this just, I know I haven't really given any particular points on what to practice, but what I'm saying here is look over your games and then realise the mistakes you're making, so that next time you're kind of thinking, actually, alright, when I'm in this situation again, don't drop down, stay where you are, and I think I know for next time what I did wrong, and that will be in my mind for hopefully next time catching a win. So let it play out, and hope you've enjoyed the video, and please do comment, and if you have any points that you think are particularly worth remembering that other people will benefit on, please do put a comment in the bottom in the comments. Please do let me know what you think we should do to make better decisions.